everybody. Welcome to Therapeutic Value. My name is Justin Spillis. This week is our first show of the year. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. For those of you who are just joining us, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. So this episode, I want to talk about, about all the things that happened last year, getting through struggles, all the changes that occurred you know, um, without me getting high. Um, Again, so we're gonna welcome Lisa to the show.
Hello.
All right. First thing I want to talk about is changes, um, being thrusted upon you in recovery. One of the suggestions is don't make any changes your first year. Um, don't get in a relationship. Go to 90 meetings, 90 days. Get a sponsor. Get a home group. All the things. Um, I didn't really listen to a couple of those things. I made some pretty drastic changes. I changed the state that I was living in. I changed my job. Um, I ended up getting a girlfriend 6 months into my recovery. We just celebrated a year together, and this month I will have 18 months of consecutive clean time. Um, so the first thing about not making any changes is I feel like that's kind of impossible if you're gonna get off drugs because all the things you were doing, you have to change your attitude, you have to change your surroundings, people, places, things. You have to change everything. So how are they gonna suggest not changing anything? It doesn't make sense to me. Um, so
Right, because essentially you need to change your entire life
yeah,
to make these big changes to become clean.
yeah, it's crazy. So I changed my job. I moved up to New Jersey. Um, I was working for someone, and I was thrust all these responsibilities. So many things were weighing on me, and I was getting close. I didn't get high, but there were a few times when I wanted to. Um, I'd be lying if I said that it was easy because it wasn't easy. 2023 was hard. I started my journey well, actually back in like 2016, I went to rehab, but that never stuck. So in 2020, I finally like made a conscious decision to try and do it on my own. Um, it was rough. I kept relapsing, trying to get clean, relapse, you know, over and over and over. It was like a revolving door. So I figured something had to give. So I had an opportunity to move to New Jersey, um, to run a couple of stores for a friend of mine, a couple of retail stores, and some things happened, and this person was going through some mental instability and taking it out on me. I ended up losing my job in a state where I had literally one friend. It was the girl I was dating. Um, I was on the verge. It could it could have went the other way, but it didn't. Um, there was a couple things you wanted to talk about.
It's kind of different from this. It was more of the resolutions and how I feel about them. So I
Okay.
was thinking about this while I was scrolling through Reddit. And I saw one that was kind of like, well, I saw an Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
And that one was the topic was basically like, it wasn't a crazy addiction, but it was an addiction. She gave her boyfriend an ultimatum of either you spend 2024 or celebrating 2024 with me or nicotine. So like I was just so it got me thinking about resolutions. Hold on, I need to put this down.
Okay.
So
Nicotine?
yeah, so I was thinking about my uncle. The year 2000, he made a decision that he was going to quit smoking cigarettes on New Year's Eve. He smoked so many cigarettes to the point that he threw up. He made himself sick because in his mind he needed his last cigarette to be his worst cigarette ever, right? And so he did that. He is now 23, almost 24 years clean from nicotine. He quit smoking. Um, but I was thinking about it, and I feel like you put too much pressure on yourself using New Year as a this is my date. I'm gonna get clean,
Yeah.
right? Like making that a resolution. Like how many people have decided I'm gonna start going to the gym? That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to become a gym rat. And like 2 weeks after the first, they're like, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like it." Like if you didn't already start, you're not going to
Yeah.
continue, right? Maybe for some people it was like their last,
Yeah, I feel like you can't plan to stop doing something. It's like if you're really committed to not doing that thing anymore or to start doing something, you're just gonna do it. I don't think that. I mean, I guess for some people it's different, but for me personally, I have never tried to do a New Year's resolution because I just knew myself. I knew me, you
right.
know?
Well, and that's why this year, instead of having a resolution, I have a word of the year, right? So I picked the word of the year that I want to like incorporate into my life as a motivational word to try and do better things, right? So determination.
Okay.
So, and I agree. I feel like resolutions are a little bit of a, people make all these big plans, new year, new me, but really it's a new year and it's the same you as yesterday because no big cosmic changes happen overnight,
Yeah.
from one day to another. It's a work in progress. We are all working to become a better version of ourselves every single day.
Not all of us.
Well, so this got me looking, and I read one. I want to read one thing,
Okay.
one story. And I feel like this person, I think it's a girl. I think she needs to stop and not go on what she wanted to do. Essentially, you're hearing this now, but as of what she wanted to do last night, um, which will be tonight for us. So she said, I need help to not have one last blowout on New Year's Eve. I was originally planning to stop cocaine and alcohol with my last blowout being on New Year's Eve. However, yesterday morning, after a cocaine and alcohol fueled all-nighter, I decided that I'd have I'd had enough, and I'm quitting now, not even going to do it on New Year's Eve. However, now I'm super tempted to use tomorrow. It's going to be just me and my boyfriend, and he will just be drinking with no cocaine. I currently can't do one without the other. I want to make up feeling fresh. I want to wake up feeling fresh on New Year's Day, but my mind is trying to convince me that just one last time won't hurt. So again, here's that whole
That's the addict mind.
right, but that's my mind is thinking like, and this is where my mindset is, don't do it as a resolution. Just one day, if you wake up and you're like, I've had it, like this was so bad, why have your last time be one of your best nights, right? Like my uncle did, where his last cigarette was his worst cigarette.
Yeah.
Like granted, cocaine is much different than a cigarette, but it's the same concept, right? Why would I want my last cigarette to taste so good? Like I'm gonna have my last cigarette first thing in the morning with a fresh cup of coffee. No, like that is not how you want that cigarette to be like disgusting. Like you want to have a cigarette that's been sitting there for 4 weeks in the sun, stale as hell. And
Maybe
you
got wet at one point.
right,
Yeah,
you
it's
want
kind
it
of
to be
brown.
gross. You don't want it to be the most delicious thing you've ever smoked. Does that like that's my mindset.
Yeah.
That's my mindset. Like so if I were to stop, I don't drink very much. When I do, I enjoy it, but I don't drink very much. But if I were to say, all right, I don't want to ever drink again, I would probably go with like one, like I'd probably just like drink whiskey. I can't drink whiskey. Whiskey, the smell of whiskey makes me,
So you would just want to get like totally shit faced and
well, I probably wouldn't, but I
sloppy.
would like probably just have that in front of me and I wouldn't drink it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't consume it. It would just be sitting there, and the entire time that smell would make me want to vomit.
Yeah.
So that would be like my okay, well, this was my last drink,
Yeah.
right? But like, if I were gonna make a big change like that, New Year's Eve is not.
Yeah.
New Year's Day is not the day that I'm gonna commit to a big change like that because that takes a lot of mindset. It takes a lot of, especially from drugs.
Yeah,
Again,
and
I
if you're
have
an
never
addict,
been an addict, but I've
if you're an addict, you're probably not a goal-oriented person anyway. Like you probably don't even wake up in the morning and make your bed. So I feel like if you're going to quit doing something, it's got to be for a reason,
I like that.
not for
That's a good first step for people.
what? Making
That's
their
a
bed?
well, you know how I feel about making the bed.
Yeah.
That is like the what if you do nothing else productive in a day, at least you made your bed. At least you got that one thing done, right? Because I have ADD. I get very like I start things and by the end of the day I have 40 started projects, none finished.
Yeah. When I was in addiction, I didn't even have sheets on a bed. So like a blanket just thrown crumpled up. Sometimes it was my pillow, sometimes it was my blanket, depending on, if it was cold. Um, but yeah, so
But I
there's
think that's a good what I mean is by I like that. I think that's a good resolution to
to
start.
start making your bed.
Yeah, every
There you
day.
go. Start making
Start
your bed.
right. That's a good first step towards somebody doing something bigger with their life.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Um, but
So,
I just feel like addicts aren't goal-oriented people to just by nature. Um, we are spur of the moment. We're very um, just take it as it comes. Um, I was never one to plan something and do it. The way I did things was it was either my idea or somebody else's spur of the moment idea, and my impulse would be like, "Let's go, let's do it." That's kind of how I stopped getting high and drinking. Was I was just like, I just can't do this anymore.
but you did it on a random day.
Yeah, it wasn't a New Year.
Right.
It was
And that's my point is I
July
feel like
12th. Like who?
if my point to all of this, the reason I wanted to bring this up is I wanted to say to somebody, anybody out there, do not put so much pressure on yourself that today doesn't have to be the day. Today can be the first step of that thought process for you.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be the day, but as long as you're thinking about it and wanting and trying to make those steps or take those steps to be a better version of yourself, that's what counts.
yeah,
If today you're like, I'm done, and today you do nothing, and then tomorrow you use, well, at least you had one day. Now, next time, try for a week. Try for, give yourself grace.
I want to look up a statistic.
Give
Keep going.
yourself grace on making those changes because it is hard. I have not been there, but I have seen many people. It's just like so I was in the party scene at one point. Not crazy, but I used to hang out with people 4 days a week. And so many of them would make these ridiculous New Year's resolutions and fail a week later because they put so much pressure on themselves. First of all, you don't have to tell the world about your resolution. You don't have to post it on Facebook. You don't have to put it on social media.
Oh,
Maybe tell one
that's
person.
all we're gonna see on social
But
media is this year.
my point is you don't have to make things like that public.
So here's a statistic I just looked up. So researchers say that only 9% of Americans that make resolutions complete them. The research goes on to show that 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first week. 43% quit by the end of January. Um, why do you think that is?
Because you're putting so much pressure on yourself and so again with the whole gym thing, I'm gonna go to the gym thing because people think, okay, I'm gonna hit the gym hard on the second or the first, depending on if what you did the night before, right?
Yeah.
How late you stayed out, how tired you are. So you go to the gym the first day. Your first day in the gym, you're gonna go hard. You're gonna go hard. You're gonna stay there for an hour. The next day, you are gonna be in so much pain from working out for the first time and God knows how long
Yeah.
that you're not going to be able to walk, right? So now we're either taking a rest day or we're going to the gym and we're not doing it as hard. But we're not letting our body recover. So
Yeah.
we're going to still be in pain on day 3, and we're probably going to be in even more pain because there is a delay a lot of times in some of your muscles. Um, there's a word for that, and I can't remember what it is right now, but I learned it when I was using my Peloton, that there's like a word for the delay of like squatting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now day 3, you're in even more pain because your body didn't recover and you probably didn't stretch properly after your workout. So
So this is the reason. Most people are thinking too big when not considering the why behind them. Like, what's the reason for your New Year's resolution? Unless it's something that you have to change or you're gonna die, I don't see, a lot of people making their New
I
Year's
think I was
resolutions.
spot on with saying small resolution like
Yeah,
fixing your bed every day.
yeah, yeah. Start small, and then after
Right,
after
like
January, have another goal. Do like weeklies, monthlies, every 3 months. Like, make a list of things that you want to accomplish. And again, start small. Do not go all grand and say, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in January. No.
it's very unhealthy.
Yeah. And
Shouldn't
there's
lose
only
that
one way
much
to
weight
do
that
that. I
fast.
mean, yeah, crack is very expensive. Okay?
But so
And
I
it
don't
tastes
I don't
bad.
remember what I was talking about. I
About
don't think
squats.
I don't think I finished. It's all right. But I just think that people need to give themselves grace. Start with little changes, like if you're an alcoholic and you're trying to get away from that scene, find a hobby, find something else to do to keep you busy, right? Like instead of going out every Friday, Saturday, break that cycle because really, so many people with an addiction, it's really just we're creatures of habit,
Yeah.
right? So if we're every Saturday we're going to the bar on the corner, every Saturday we're going to go to the bar on the corner. So break the habit. Find something else to spend your time doing that'll make you feel fulfilled. Oh, so I remember what I was going to say. So I used to go to 7-Eleven every day. I used to go to 7-Eleven every morning. I'd get my coffee, blah, blah, blah. And every year towards New Year's, this person used to be like, this is my last lottery ticket. Okay. And like 3 or 4 weeks, I wouldn't see them. And then, bam, right back. They were back to buying their lottery tickets.
Hmm.
It's just like that. It's like, uh, how about instead of I'm going to not buy lottery tickets every day, it's okay, I'm going to buy lottery tickets 3 times a week as opposed to every single day. And
Yeah.
like shorten how often you do it. You don't have to like,
And then there's also ways to make sure you can do something like that. Stop carrying cash. You
right,
can't buy a lottery ticket if you're not carrying
right.
cash.
We're using lottery tickets as an example, but like for drugs,
Okay.
like just
Well, gambling is an addiction.
right. I know, different type of addiction. My point is for drug usage and alcohol usage, it's very hard to do cold turkey. And for some, it's dangerous to do cold turkey.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace. Don't put things on the internet because not everybody needs to know what you're doing when you're
Yeah.
doing it right away.
And then they're gonna see you fail.
Right. And then you feel worse and then you're using more because you feel like you disappointed everybody.
Yep.
Just have an accountability buddy. Like if you're going to meetings, find a sponsor or just a friend or even a family member. Like, check in with them daily. Let them know how you're doing, what you're feeling, what's going on. Um,
Something else I just looked up. So the most common New Year's resolutions, um, most common is improve fitness. Okay, then it's improve finances. Third is improve mental health. Why do you think so many people are putting their finances and their fitness above their mental health?
I don't know. Honestly, well,
I feel like people's priorities are in the wrong place.
a lot of people think that their
If they
mental their mental health issues are the result of
their
their
finances and their
finances and their
physical,
physical health.
yeah,
Like, let's be honest. Okay, so I used to be almost 300 pounds. And back then, if you would have told me that the things I was feeling weren't because I was heavy, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
doctors make you think that because you're heavy, this is why all these problems occur. Meanwhile, now I'm suffering with skin issues that I never dealt with back when I was almost 300 pounds. Crazy, right?
Yeah. So
I have one
apparently,
thing I want to read at the end.
okay. So
Okay.
apparently, only 3% of people say they would like to stop drinking for their New Year's resolution. Only 3%. I mean, I feel like that should be a lot higher. Anyway, what? Go ahead.
So I saw a post on Reddit that I really liked from somebody named Chinggis,
Chungus?
I guess.
Read it with an accent.
No. It says, don't wait for the new year to change. As we enter December, I'm sure many of you have begun thinking about your New Year's resolution. As though because a few numbers changing around on your calendar will have a drastic impact on your ability to achieve your life goals. Setting a date in the future to make a change is setting a precedent of procrastination and delay, which will leave you always waiting for the right moment to change. The right moment is now. Why wait another 3 weeks before doing something about it? Entering the new year weeks to with 3 weeks of abstinence under your belt or opposed to delaying your recovery is setting yourself a great example of how you wish to continue. Wait.
I like that.
Oh, it's like starting 3 weeks prior.
Yeah.
The sudden burst of New Year motivation will wear off after a few days, and the unmet expectation will hit you like a truck. Do what you can right now to break from this addiction, even if it's making a minor change. Stop delaying your recovery. Act now so that your future self is better off.
I like that.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That brings us to the end of our show today. Hope you guys enjoyed
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
that part. Again, this is Therapeutic Value. My name is Justin Spillis. Again, with Lisa.
Lisa, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.